Hi, this is Mr. G with New Global Ed. Today I'm going to talk to you about letters of recommendation and their significance when it comes to college applications. It really amazes me how many students and families don't really understand the significance of letters of recommendation. You have to really understand that these are your future teachers talking to hopefully what will become your future professors about your academic abilities, your intellectual, or the level of insight that you have demonstrated intellectually in class, how often you contributed, what you have valued in terms of generally adding value to the intellectual discourse of the classroom. If you're a student that went to class, never really raised their hands, never really engaged in the conversations, never really questioned any of the theories that were being taught in class, and simply saw it as I have to be there to get an A, and therefore I study on my own time and I do well on the test. Don't expect too much from your teachers when it comes to letters of recommendation. Sure, they'll say you got an A, but a lot of students get an A. An A is not necessarily what letters of recommendation should reflect. They should really reflect a story, a genuine story that a teacher can talk about, reference about your growth. And if you were already the smart kid who came in, how did you then demonstrate that you can go even higher in terms of your intellectual abilities in class and just overall contributions to that environment? Now, it's very common for me to hear stories where students say, well, I always helped other students in class who were struggling. And that's great, that's wonderful. But I think you really need to reassess the reason why you were in the classroom to begin with. Why did you choose to take a class? This is why registration come March time is very important. You really have to make a decision as to why that subject matter particularly is of interest to you and how it's going to help you in your future goals and aspirations. And if all you're doing is taking every single little AP class that there is, every single honors course that there is, but really haven't stopped to think about why you've taken those classes, then you're going to come short when it comes to your college application, both in terms of explaining it on the essay, but also in terms of that letter of recommendation that we were trying to secure from the teacher. Many times, and in my 10 years in education at high school, teachers always said, well, they're a great student, but I really don't know what to say about them. And we don't want that to be you. So make sure you take heed and really do the steps that we have encouraged you to reach out to your teachers, not just a gift card, not a Starbucks card. Really, teachers are human beings and they want validation in terms of what they taught and how they taught and the impact it's had on you. Share with them the information that you've learned and how you've applied it, if at all. Many of you do things over the summer, never come back and tell your teachers. Many of you ask for smart little reference letters to get into internships or programs, and teachers don't even know you got these positions or these opportunities. So they're kind of dumbfounded at the very end when you ask them to write them a letter of recommendation. Always follow every individual teacher's request. Some of them are lengthy, I realize that. But if you start early, like we encourage you to do here at New Global Ed over the summer, you can start preparing a lot of information for them. Really keep in touch with them and understand that you're more than just a grade. And don't choose a teacher in terms of, oh, I heard they write great letters of recommendation. Well, they write great letters of recommendation when the subject matter they have to write about is a stellar student beyond just the academic framework of that classroom. So really think about your entire college application process and where these letters of recommendation fit in that whole entire ambassador, if you will, that's going to the college. Remember, you're trying to paint a picture, and a letter of recommendation or two from the teacher's perspective is just another stroke in the overall picture you are painting. Come join us next time. We'll talk about the significance of letters of recommendation from your counselor and from outside sources as well. Take care. This is Mr. G, and talk to you soon.